Ladies and gentlemen, Kim here. Welcome to the daily update. Hope you guys had a good day trading. Today, market is down about 0.7%. There on the S&P at 0.3%. Semiconductor did the same, down 0.8%. Russell 2000, transport, banks, energy, biotech, healthcare, home builders, utilities, retail, emerging market, every single sectors are red today. Bitcoin up, gold, silver, miners are up as well. Dollar flat, oil up, treasury bond down. The rates are down. VIX is about 10%. There, let's stay with S&P 500 ETF. Spider! 65-minute chart here. So this is what we closed yesterday. Looks like we actually saw that down gap this morning here. This is going to favor the sellers. As you can see, there was that first down gap last week or so, and this is a secondary down gap once that down gap was not filled yesterday, and that selling pressure continues on that first hour. A little bit of fluctuation, second and third, fourth hour. Bulls got up there trying to fill this down gap, but they weren't successful. And with that, you can see fifth hour. So pretty much grinded sideways all day long. You might be wondering what is holding this up. So you can see as I zoom out here, we are looking at rising support here. This is coming all the way from March price action here. You can see some of these swing lows here, right? And that's kind of the level where we're kind of stalling, holding here. Again, obviously that level is also coinciding with this horizontal support, that previous known swing high there. So that 403, 404 level is currently holding as a possible support. We don't know as of today if it's going to hold or not. And obviously, you know, all the moving averages still declining, midterm there, short term there, micro term here, and we're still below the long term. And we got the down gap still remaining. Sentiment, obviously the price sentiment is still bearish. Looking at things in maybe short to micro term. But if you really look at this in the midterm of things, as of today, we still have to kind of say that the market hasn't gone anywhere in the last month or so. So sort of like a neutral ground, looking at things in the midterm of things. And that's kind of where the price is kind of hanging around here. So I think obviously, bears really want to break below this rising uptrend support and start attacking to fill some of these up gaps here. We got the up gap at 401 or so, and bigger up gap at 395. Some of those up gaps, it's gonna provide some support, and that's where that bullish pressure is coming from. So obviously, bears wanna, you know what I mean, dismantle that. And also I throw that Fibonacci, if you can see. So I measure the February and May peak there, and also the low, right? The low from the last middle of March at 385 or so, right? So measure from here to there, and you can see my fib levels. And that's gonna be the first level, right? Definitely is letting us know that fib is also endorsing that level as potential support, right? Because we got the horizontal support there, and then the rising uptrend support, and coinciding the first level fib there. The secondary fib 398, 399, and that's right on that gap area, and the last level is just underneath that gap. But I really do think bulls could, you know, allow bears to fill this up gap, but bulls really want to protect this up gap and have, you know, if let's say we do see that breakdown this week, bulls really want to hold that 50% retracement on the fib, which is coinciding with the gap area. I think if the bulls can hold that and protect that gap, there might still be a chance. But I remember there's a bigger up gap was open. Yes, I talked about that gap. Once that gap gets filled, things are going to be more hectic. So if we don't get up, possibly, you know, maybe island gap or something like that, it's going to be a very, very difficult road going forward, just because, again, the gap is going to act as resistance. With the long term, it's going to be act as resistance. With the micro term, short-term, mid-term, all those move. That's why this is, even if we see any sort of pop, it's going to be a very difficult road ahead.
Okay.
And so for bulls to maybe allow some of the, you know what I mean, bears to charge it down, but they definitely need to make sure this gap, right, at least portion of that gap remains up, because if this gap gets filled, now this entire real estate is going to become very much vulnerable, right? Look at this entire real estate right now. Bulls have ownership of that real estate as of now, but if bears start charging down here, and only thing that is protecting that real estate is that up gap at around 400 or so. Let's check out that oscillator.
2 hours later.
So that oscillator is continues to roll over here. Definitely the signal that bears going to be happy with. We're not seeing any sort of cross or nothing like that. Definitely the oscillator is favoring the sellers, and that oscillator is letting us know that there's selling pressure. So a lot of bears probably want to look at this into some sort of a bear flagging pattern, right? Maybe they looked at this as a bear flag. There's a secondary bear flag. It's a possibility before another leg lower. And definitely we're not at oversold yet. I mean, we entered the oversold zone. We're not extremely oversold. So we still have at least one more down day remaining. Meaning bears still have energy left. They're not fully tired yet. They're just getting sort of tired. They are getting tired, but they could push one more day. And if this bear flag plays out, there's a good chance that bears are going after filling this up gap here, right? That 402 up gap that opened up, looks like very late March. And that's exactly what bears, and in that process, what the bears going to do, they're going to dismantle their rising uptrend support. They're going to get below the first level of fib, fill another up gap, right? And slowly eating away the bulls' real estate. You want to follow me? Okay. Been gathering last couple months or so, and that's exactly what bears want to do. And with that oscillator not extremely oversold, that could potentially be. However, let's say price kind of remains sideways here, right? And this thing starts to crossing back up in this vicinity. There's a good chance bulls can at least bring it up for a couple days to retest some of these moving averages. I'm gonna come back for you. We'll reassess the situation. Enjoy your evening. Go train tomorrow.